Yet even as they were mown down in their ranks, the Russian infantry stood their ground.
What? They stood their ground under heavy artillery fire? Alright, Napoleon, Battle of Borodino. A lot of people wanted me to do it. We are doing it. I bet this is gonna be crazy. I really look forward to this.
Russia, 1812. Napoleon invades his former ally with the largest army Europe has ever seen.
Breaking out, man.
But for the French Emperor, the decisive blow remains frustratingly beyond reach.
Oh yeah.
Russia's resilience is unlike anything he's ever encountered. And as winter closes in, his army begins the most infamous retreat in history.
Napoleon in Russia. Part 2. Oh, freaking hell,
September
mate.
1812. 10 weeks had passed since Napoleon invaded Russia with more than 500,000 men. The French Emperor wanted a quick victory over the Russians, one that would force Emperor Alexander to make peace and agree.
I don't really understand. What was Napoleon thinking invading a country the size of Russia? How was he expecting to get a quick victory? Because Russia is huge, right? Like, you can't push all the way deep into Russia. Like, I really don't understand that logic. How are you gonna get a quick victory? You're not dealing with a country that's the size of Prussia, right, or Austria, right? I just don't get it. Like, what was he thinking? Like, what was he thinking? Like defeat the Russian army and boom, victory, right? Like, no, Russia's too big to be conventional. Bloody hell.
To French terms. But at Vitebsk and then Smolensk, the outnumbered Russian army had narrowly escaped his clutches. The holy city of Smolensk had been virtually destroyed. Napoleon had advanced deep into Russia, and months of marching had left his army decimated by disease and exhaustion. It was now half its original strength, and summer was nearly over. But
all of that from diseases, dude. It makes you wonder, was it really necessary? Like, what if Napoleon didn't invade with all of those troops? Low-key, I think it would have been better for Napoleon to not. Like, I'm using hindsight, but guys, let's think about it. Large armies take up so much supplies, and usually they die of disease before they even fight in battle. So that's just a little personal opinion. Napoleon was the only example, but invading with huge, enormous armies, bad idea.
But finally, 70 miles west of Moscow, near the village of Borodino, the Russians had turned to offer battle. Napoleon would have a chance to win the decisive victory that he believed would end the war.
Really? Really? Okay. So the entire Russian army is there, and if Napoleon beats them, he wins? Wouldn't Russia simply make more troops, though? Right?
The Russian army,
someone explain that to me.
Commanded by the 67-year-old one-eyed veteran General Kutuzov, occupied a defensive position across the two main roads leading from Smolensk to Moscow. General Barclay de Tolly's First Army was on the right, its front protected by the Kalatsha River, steep-banked but shallow and easily forded. Prince Bagration's Second Army was on the left, a more open position but reinforced by major earthworks, the Great Redoubt, and what the French nicknamed for their shape, the flèche, the arrows. Another forward redoubt at Shevardino was expected to delay the enemy's advance.
Right.
Historians still dispute the size of the Russian army, but it's likely Kutuzov had around 121,000 men and 680 guns.
Yo, I didn't know. Okay, that's actually sizable. I didn't know the Russian army was quite sizable themselves. Yay, okay. 680. Oh my gosh, that is okay. Okay, Russia, I see you. I see you, Russia. Okay. Okay.
On the 5th
this
of
is gonna be
September,
wild.
Napoleon's army began to arrive from the west. Around 130,000 men and 585 guns.
I don't like those odds. I don't like those odds.
Napoleon quickly saw that the Borodino redoubt would have to be taken before he could deploy his army, and ordered an immediate assault. The attack was led by Compan's 5th Division of the 1st Corps, supported by the Polish 5th Corps to the south.
Polish! What are you made of? Let's see.
In several hours of heavy fighting, the redoubt changed hands more than once. But late that evening, the Russians finally withdrew to their main line, and the redoubt fell to the French. Its capture had cost them an estimated 4,000 casualties.
In the span of what?
Lost around 6,000 men.
In the span of what, though? How long did this battle take?
Napoleon noted how few prisoners were taken, a worrying sign of the enemy's unbroken resolve.
Oh, nah. Nah, bro, that is cold. So in my last video, right, I said that, Russians are very tenacious people, and that's why I respect them. As someone in my comment said that any country being invaded would obviously fight super hard. Yes and no. I in some cases yes, in some cases no, because there are a bunch of examples where countries were invaded and they just completely fold, right? But I'm just saying, but come on, you can't deny that Russians are tenacious people, even when they weren't like going through war, right? It's, they've been through a lot. Like I said, they still keep going, right? But yeah, like I said, dude, I say it back then, I'll say it here, Russians are tenacious people. Freaking hell, man.
Both sides spent the next day preparing for battle. Marshal Davout, commanding French 1st Corps and widely considered Napoleon's most able subordinate, appealed to the Emperor to use his corps to make a wide, outflanking attack to the south.
Okay, doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Dismissed the idea as too risky.
Why is that?
Instead, began preparing for a massive frontal assault on the Russian defenses.
That looks more risky. Why did he dismiss that? Why did he deem it too risky? What? Napoleon, why are you taking? I could not escape the feeling that something huge and destructive was hanging all over us. I still don't understand.
Shortly after dawn on the 7th of September, Orthodox priests paraded one of Russia's holiest icons, Our Lady of Smolensk, before the Russian army.
Oh, nah, bro. You know when an army brings out idols, that's when, you know when an army, okay, this is gonna be okay.
A stirring sight for many devout Russian soldiers, thousands of whom would not live to see dusk. The battle began at 6 a.m. as French batteries opened a deafening cannonade against the Russian defenses. Eugene's 4th Corps advanced on Borodino village, lightly held by Jaegers of the Russian Imperial Guard. After clearing the village, his infantry crossed the Kalacha and advanced towards the Great Redoubt, but were driven back with heavy losses. The Russians burned the bridge across the river, but did not launch a counterattack, and Eugene was able to move cannon into the village to put flanking fire on the Great Redoubt. In the center, Davout's 1st Corps began its advance against the Fleche, coming under heavy fire. While on the right, the Polish 5th Corps, ordered to take Utitsa, got held up in the woods and ravines. Their slow advance allowed Tushkov's 3rd Corps to send a division north to reinforce the Fleche defenses.
Nothing crazy is happening yet, but
at his headquarters in Gorky, took little part in the battle. leaving tactical decisions to his subordinates.
Smart, genius, smart. This guy is low key. Wow, this guy's ahead of his time. This guy is ahead of his time. Okay, I was sleeping on this guy, but I think I need to give him a bit of respect, because this is like that is like really really unconventional thinking, but this is, yeah, that is smart. Okay, like as the US military does that, right? Because chain of command can sometimes ruin like every single opportunity. So yeah, this guy's ahead of his time. Maybe I need to give him more respect. We'll see.
Barclay and Bagration had spent most of the summer arguing furiously over strategy.
Swear I love that name,
Bagration. They put their differences aside.
Of course.
They could see the main French attack was falling on the Russian center and left. So Barclay ordered General Bagavut's 2nd Corps south to reinforce Bagration. Fighting around the Flèche intensified as the French captured one of the earthworks, only to be driven out by a Russian counterattack.
Alright, I see you.
Davout himself was injured in the fighting as he fell from his dying horse, but he refused to leave the field.
Of course, he's the Iron Marshal for a reason.
When Russian cavalry counterattacked, Marshal Murat himself led the French cavalry forward to meet them.
Oh yeah, Murat. Oh yeah, Murat. That's why you're the flamboyant general.
Now joined the attack on the Flèche. A charge by Russian cuirassiers forced Murat to take shelter in a square of Württemberg infantry.
Wow. The pressure.
Murat, with his flamboyant dress and reckless courage, had now even made a name for himself among the Russians.
Really?
The Cossacks in particular saw him as a kindred spirit and were eager to capture him alive if they could.
Put some respect on my name.
Polish troops now took Utitsa, which the Russians set ablaze before withdrawing. But General Bagavut's reinforcements arrived just in time to shore up the Russian flank.
Okay.
Around 10 a.m., Eugène launched another attack on the Great Redoubt. It was briefly captured by Moran's 1st Division, before his men were thrown out by a ferocious Russian counterattack. The Russian army's 27-year-old artillery commander, General Kutuzov, was killed leading one of these counterattacks. A heroic death, but a blow to the organization of Russian artillery for the rest of the day.
Oh yeah, problematic, yeah.
Fighting continued to rage around the Flèche earthworks.
Yeah, it's getting heated there. It's getting really heated.
As many as 6 major French assaults, involving 45,000 troops, with hundreds of cannon on both sides, pouring fire into the packed ranks. More than once, French infantry fought their way into one of the Russian positions, only to be driven out again at bayonet point.
Yeah, Lee, bro, this is what I said, bro. Freaking Russians are tenacious people, bro. Come on, bro. How could you not respect Russian people, bro? Come on, bro.
Junot's Westphalian Corps was sent forward in support, helping to clear Russian skirmishers from the woods to the south. General Bagration was close to the action, overseeing the defense of the Flèche, leading forward reinforcements and ordering counterattacks.
Is he gonna die?
Around 10 a.m., he was hit in the leg by shell fragments.
What did I do? I swear, I can see this happening from a mile away.
Mortally wounded, he was carried from the field. Shaken by the loss of their iconic commander, the exhausted Russian infantry began to fall back. The French finally took the Flèche. Marshal Murat then led forward Friant's division, 1st Corps' last reserve, supported by waves of heavy cavalry on both flanks. Russian grenadiers formed squares to ward off the French cuirassiers, while their own guard cavalry fought the French in a giant confused melee, with heavy losses on both sides. The Russians resisted doggedly, but the combined onslaught of French artillery, cavalry, and infantry proved irresistible. As the Russians pulled back, Friant's infantry fought their way into the village of Semyenovskia. The Russian center was in disarray and seemed close to breaking. Surely now was the time for Napoleon to deliver the knockout blow.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting right now. Soldiers, face to the enemy. Let's go and get killed. Oh, ice cold.
For most of the day, Napoleon remained at his headquarters near Shevardino. Those around him later said that illness, as well as the exertions of the long campaign, had left him tired and irritable.
I
As
can
the
bet,
Russian
honestly.
center buckled, Murat and his staff urged him to send forward his last reserve, the Imperial Guard.
The Imperial
The Emperor
Guard.
refused.
What?
If there is
Why?
another battle tomorrow, he asked them, where is my army? But he did make one exception. Barclay was continuing to move troops from his unengaged right wing to bolster the center. Osterman Tolstoy's 4th Corps arrived behind the Russian center. French observers feared they were massing for an attack. So Napoleon ordered forward General Sorbier's Guard artillery. His batteries opened a devastating fire on the enemy.
Oh, and
even as they were mown down in their ranks.
And they're all clustered together. Oh, dude. That's bad. Yeah, that's bad. Oh, dude, what the heck?
Sorbier's Guard artillery. His batteries opened a devastating fire on the enemy. Yet even as they were mown down in their ranks, the Russian infantry stood their ground.
What? They stood their ground under heavy artillery fire? This is why I said Russians are the most tenacious people. I mean, this is just proving my point over and over. They stood their ground. What? Oh my gosh. Bro, my respect for Russian people just... I mean, I already respected them, like, a lot. But my respect for them just skyrocketed. What the hell, man? What the hell?
On the Russian right wing, all remained quiet. So General Platov, commander of the Don Cossacks, proposed that he lead an attack on the lightly defended Borodino village. Permission received. Generals Platov and Uvarov led a force of 8,000 Cossacks and cavalry across the Kalacha River.
What's gonna happen here?
They fell on French and Italian troops around Borodino with complete surprise, spreading panic and disorder. Grouchy's 3rd Cavalry Corps had to be pulled back across the river to drive off the Russians. Russian commanders saw this raid as a missed opportunity. But it had delayed the next French attack by 2 hours, and may have persuaded Napoleon that he was right to hold back his reserve.
So, question, right? Could Napoleon really have beaten the Russians back at Borodino? Like, could he really have given the Imperial Russian army a fatal blow? Was it actually possible? Or was he tripping, saying that even if he won here, the Russians would still be able to fight? Was he wrong? Was he right? Like, did he have a point? I don't know. I can't really decide, because I was thinking, I can't really decide. I don't know. Let's continue. I have never seen such carnage. Okay. 22nd time.
Around 3 p.m., the French launched their biggest assault yet on the Great Redoubt. Russian gunners targeted the French infantry advancing to their front, allowing French cavalry to outflank the redoubt and charge it from the rear. Saxon cavalry were first in, cutting down Russian infantry and gunners almost to the last man. It was an astonishing feat by the horsemen, against all the rules of war, and testament to the ferocity of the fighting.
They actually did it.
As Eugene's infantry consolidated their hold on the redoubt, he ordered forward all the available cavalry to exploit this success.
This isn't even crazy anymore. This is just vicious, right? This is just so vicious at this point. Oh my gosh.
But they were met and checked by the last Russian cavalry reserves.
But it's the last
Eugene
one.
now implored Napoleon to commit the Imperial Guard. But again, the Emperor refused. "I will not destroy my guard," he told his staff. "I am 800 leagues from France, and I will not risk my last reserve."
I can honestly understand that, but still, the Russian army seems to be on the brink, though. I don't know. What would you do in this situation?
Both armies were in a state of utter exhaustion. The battlefield was strewn with dead and wounded.
Ugh,
Some
nasty.
infantry battalions could muster only a third of their strength. Cavalry could advance no faster than a trot. Gun crews were collapsing with fatigue.
I bet.
As dusk approached, fighting slowly died out across the battlefield.
Oh, I bet.
Napoleon and the French army expected the fighting to resume the next day.
The Russians pull back, of
But
course.
by dawn, Kutuzov, having learned the full, horrifying scale of Russian losses, had ordered a withdrawal.
Yeah, it's just that, just like at the Battle of Eylau, you know, the Russians pull back. I'm not surprised.
The losses on both sides were enormous. Russian casualties are estimated at 44,000. French losses around 30,000.
70,000 dead in one.
generals.
70,000 dead in one. Yo, 70,000 dead in one day. What the heck?
12 of them killed. Borodino would prove to be the bloodiest single day,
Wait, did he say 12 generals killed? Hold on, let me replay that one more time.
including 49 generals. 12 of them killed.
49 generals? What the heck? 49 generals were casualties? What? Holy.
Borodino would prove to be the bloodiest single day of the Napoleonic Wars.
This is... I feel like Eylau was way worse than this. Am I tripping? I feel like Eylau was just insane. The Battle of Eylau was just so freaking insane, bro.
The Russian army could not fight another battle until it had received major reinforcements. And so Kutuzov decided that he must abandon Moscow. On the 15th of September, a week after his victory at Borodino, Napoleon entered the city. He would find it virtually deserted, and already the first fires starting to burn.
Well, the infamous fire.
Thank you to
The infamous fire. Look, man, you made it all the way to the end of this video. Make sure you subscribe because you like what I have to say, right? No, but seriously though, make sure you subscribe for more reactions because I am, I plan to do a lot more reactions like this. If you have anything you want me to react to, comment it down below. Eventually I will get to it. I will react to it in due time. Check out the videos that are apparent on your screen if you like my reactions, or check out the videos on my channel. Scroll through for a bit. I don't know. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.